We are always on the menu here at Breakfast All Day, but today we are talking about the menu, which is kind of about food, but not really. Alonso, tell us about it.
Well, instead of a menu, we have a QR code on the table. No, I'm kidding.
Here we are family. We harvest, we ferment, we gel.
They gel.
We gel.
This is about a boatload of folks who are going to an island for a meal that is prepared by the legendary Chef Slovak, played by Fiennes. And this is a crew of people that includes an obnoxious foodie played by Hoult, who is there on a date with Anya Taylor-Joy. There's some finance bros. There is John Leguizamo as a kind of washed up action star. A clearly unhappy rich couple, a restaurant critic and her toadying editor. Am I leaving anybody out?
I think you got them all.
Yeah.
And then his mom is there too.
And his mom is there too, just drinking. Over the course of the meal, it becomes more and more clear that not only are they having a culinary experience, but that something nefarious is happening on this island. And, Anya Taylor-Joy, who's sort of our audience surrogate and is kind of along for the ride here, has to figure out if she's going to be able to deal with all the craziness that is going on around her. And once the true agenda for the evening is revealed. You know, you were talking about how I never watched trailers. I did see the trailer for this because it was like every time I went to the movies for a while, it was always there.
Yeah, it was on a lot.
At some point, I opened my eyes and I watched it. And I thought, oh, okay, this is intriguing. I like the premise here. Amazing cast. You've got besides the leads, you've got John Leguizamo and Janet McTeer and Judith Light and
Chau
as
his right-hand woman.
Yes. And Reed Birney from Mass and these are really, did you recognize, by the way, Arturo Castro, one of the finance bros, played Pablo Escobar in Weird?
Oh, that's funny. No, I did not recognize that. It's a big couple of weeks for him.
Yeah, I knew that face.
Very different movies.
I totally. And I looked at him, I was like, oh, that guy. Anyways, but the thing is, everything cool about this movie is kind of in the trailer because the premise is far more interesting than the, if you will, execution of this idea. And once they start explaining what's happening and why it's happening, it got much less interesting for me. And I didn't think that it really was committed to the bit in terms of what the motivating factor behind all of this was. And it felt like usually something like this, Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, I think is sort of the classic version where you have this group of random people and they're all together in this island or whatever, and they start getting bumped off, and you ultimately find out there's a specific reason why these people and what they all have to do with this person who wants to get rid of them. And then once you start finding out why these people are here, a lot of them just seem like they're collateral damage and nobody cares. Like they aren't really the intended victims of whatever it is that's being perpetrated here. And so that just felt kind of random and sloppy and undercutted. And I think in a year that has given us Triangle of Sadness and Glass Onion, which we'll be talking about in a week or two, this feels like a very kind of limp satire about wealthy, awful people getting what's coming to them.
Yeah, it is that. And these movies are all indictments of how extreme wealth can corrupt our sense of, right and wrong and how to treat people. And that manifests itself in some really clever ways as far as the very personalized details in the courses. I don't want to give away what those are, but some of the ways in which the food gets presented is very clever as far as sticking it to these people. But I don't know that anyone ever actually learns anything. Probably not. And it feels like it's a meaty role for Anya Taylor-Joy, no pun intended. And Hoult is always sort of a delightfully despicable, kind of arrogant, vapid prig as we see him on The Great.
He can be. I think he can do a lot of stuff, but he's very good at this. You're right.
He is, for sure. And the fact that he's so pretty definitely helps, compound all of that. But you get someone like the caliber of Judith Light.
Yeah.
And give her nothing to do.
Yeah.
She's literally just the wife. I mean, even Reed Birney doesn't get a whole lot to do. He gets a single character trait, which is the reason that he's there. But Judith Light literally is just the wife and just has to be worried. It's always great to see Janet McTeer and her interplay with her editor and like the snobbery and the one-upmanship is always very enjoyable. I think the writing quite frequently is very sharp in terms of shining a light on like the kind of bravado that comes with this kind of wealth and this kind of elitism and the kind of cluelessness. And I don't know whether it's a chicken and egg thing. Do you need that kind of approach toward life to reach that level of wealth, or does that level of wealth make you behave that way?
Right.
I don't know. But it's enormously stylish. The cinematographer is Peter Deming, who also shot like Mulholland Drive, among many other films.
Okay.
Yeah, he shot Drag Me to Hell, Cabin in the Woods. It always looks fantastic. And just the camera work, like the overhead shots of the food or of what's happening on the floor of the restaurant. They use the space very effectively, inside and outside. And even before you get into the restaurant, the whole tour that Chau gives them is this kind of like delightful parody of really highfalutin, snobbish foodie-ishness.
We gel.
Right. Like just the kind of people who like cling to that and derive a sense of self-worth from that, but just the way that they prepare the food, the way that everything takes place on this island.
The thing I like best about this movie is that, much in the same way that, do you watch The White Lotus on HBO by chance?
I do not, and I know I need to.
I think you would dig it.
Yeah.
But I think what they both do is they give you just enough sort of luxury porn to kind of draw you in and be like, ooh, that seems so cool. And then immediately turn it and be like, oh no, but these people are miserable and terrible and, you know, like deserve to suffer. And that's a tricky balance, because you could let the sort of aspirational wealth porn just overwhelm and it undercuts the message. And I think they find a good balance for that. But this, as I was watching it, I thought, you know, it's too bad that we don't do sort of like anthology drama shows as much as we used to. Cause like this would be a really tight, like 50-minute punchy, dark comedy. But as a feature film, I just felt like, okay, I see what's happening here. I understand what you're telling me. Could we just get on with it already? And so, yeah, like as a Black Mirror episode, this would be great. But as a movie, I just think it's kind of too much. I'm disappointed, frankly. And I think that if you want this kind of like pungent satire about shitty rich people, there are a couple of better examples this year that are more worth your while.
So what's your number?
I give it a 6. There are things I liked about it, but overall it just didn't hold me.
Yeah, I'm saying 7.6. I liked a lot about it stylistically in terms of the sharpness of the writing, but ultimately felt a little bit empty. I was a little hungry afterward, Alonso.
Well, because all the portions were very tiny, you know.
And a lot of it's made of snow. I don't know. There's like a snow maker. Like there's like a fluffy little, I don't know. I don't eat that kind of food.
You know, look, it's fun every so often to go to like, you know, the Jose Andres place where it's a potato omelet. There's all foams, you know, but like, I'm with Anya Taylor-Joy. I would like a cheeseburger and fries, please.
Yes. The menu is out this week. Let us know what you guys think.